Hello and welcome to this episode of Untold Stories. And as the name suggests, today we have a small team with us from personnel and administration department of the bank, which is the team which processes not only salaries for us on time, but also does everything to ensure that our family members and extended family living in whichever part of the country, they get all timely assistance in case of medical emergency. So today we have with us Mr. Nilesh Pravin, who heads the Personnel and Administration Department, which we call PAD. Along with him, we have Teni Nadar and Arun Pawar, and they'll be sharing with us their experiences during this pandemic. Nilesh, my first question to you would be, and your team, that what was the reaction when you first heard that Prime Minister has announced lockdown for the country because of this pandemic, and it was the last week of the month, last week of the financial year? What was your initial reaction to it?
Thank you, Sanjay, for the sweet introduction of the entire team, and thanks to the entire corporate communication team for inviting us to this episode of Untold Stories. When the lockdown was announced, I could say we were prepared in a way for such an announcement by the government. With the rising number of COVID cases in India and abroad, we knew the government had to soon announce something like this, which to prevent the pandemic, which was very much visible by the announcement of the Janta curfew on 22nd March. It was Sunday, so we knew that was a trial show. Looking at the reaction, the timing of lockdown was a concern for us, because March being a crucial month for us, it was not a normal month salary processing. It was the year ending, and the financial year ends on that. So we had a lot of activities to do in the month of March, where we have to calculate the tax, we have to ensure all the reimbursement, the investment proofs are considered. So it was a crucial month for us. So it was not going to be that easy. But in a way, we preempted this lockdown, and we had taken, if we knew we had to continue coming to the office, we had to think first of the safety of the staff. Hence, we immediately started taking precautionary measures such as using the thermal temperature scanner. We started using in PAD for every person who entered the PAD department, and also any visitors.
Nilesh, as you said that you were apparently prepared, but what was the last minute thing when you came to know that the salary is to be disbursed, and how much time did it take for you to make the entire thing possible at that point of time?
Thanks, Sanjay, for this question, because it was a bold step taken by us on that day. I remember it was a Janta curfew day, and in that evening I had a con call with my team members, and I told them, instead of crediting salary on 24th, that is Tuesday, we will credit salary on 23rd. That means we had to complete 2 days activity in a day's time. And I told them we will not leave office unless and until we credit salary on Monday. So be prepared, it can be late, it will be late night also. So that was a initial plan. Suddenly on when we were doing salary processing on Monday, we heard another announcement by our Chief Minister of Maharashtra saying the Maharashtra goes on a lockdown from midnight of Monday. Now it was 7:30 when that announcement came out, and we had only a few hours left to complete that activity, because if the lockdown starts at 12 midnight, we had to reach home before that time. So I had to pre-plan all the activities, recompute the timing, and we said that means we have to finish the work by 10:30, so that people who are staying far in Vasai and Dombivali and Kalyan can reach home. So we had to crunch the time of processing, and the team really responded well.
Apart from the salary part of your team, you also handle another very critical function, which is our Mediclaim policy and insurance. And that is something that would not have, during this time, took on even greater importance. I'm sure people were concerned, employees were concerned about whether they would be covered under the insurance policy, etc. And we also had to renew our policies as of April. So, how was that entire process for you and your team?
I would like Tenny to take over in this. Tenny, can you please brief on what is the automation we did for Mediclaim during this year's renewal?
As rightly said, Mediclaim being one of the most critical and essential and important benefit for employees, and the Mediclaim insurance incidentally was getting renewed during the phase of lockdown. That's on 1st of April. So, anyways, we normally we start working towards it from for about 3 months prior to the renewal, and towards 22nd March when the announcement came of the lockdown, so there were several things going in our back of our mind. So we had to look at how each and every employee will be able to enroll for the employee Mediclaim benefit, and how we will be able to service and deliver the benefit to them. So, so it being an end movement, so normally we used to do a single sign-on based enrollment. That is, employees used to log in from office. So we had on war footing, we had to change the entire system of office network to a mobile-based access for the employees, whereby they will be able to go into the system, log in, and add the family members and take top up, and all those things were done. And apart from this, we also understood that the situation is so grim across the globe that there'll be, the liquidity or the monetary aspect was also there. So we coordinated with our internal teams and got access for payment of premium through credit card EMI, and all those things we were able to do. And I think, and post that, the next came this challenge of servicing the claims. So immediately we came into took a decision that we will go ahead and do cashless and everything online, and so we spoke to the intermediary, spoke to the insurance company. So I'm very glad to say that not even a single cashless was interrupted. We have, in about 3 months, we were able to issue about 4,000 cashless requests of employees.
Your team also looks at health and wellness, and I can't think of another time where that has been more important as during these last few months. It's not just physical health and well-being, but also mental health, and lots of anxiety would have been felt by many employees. So how did the team go about kind of addressing these concerns and making a difference in the employees' lives in this regard?
This is obviously most important aspect which came into play during this lockdown. The most crucial one was the doctor on call. So we positioned it in a new way, saying one stop for all corona-related medical queries. As you rightly said, there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of apprehension, a lot of things in people's mind as to on the corona, and the everyday developments were very dynamic and changing. So I think this number, we positioned it, we promoted this number throughout the lockdown period, and you won't believe we had a whopping 10,000 calls received from employees on these numbers in 3 months' time. Okay, so these calls were manned by MBBS doctors of HealthNet Global, which is an Apollo Hospitals company.
Did we use any new digital methods for this entire process?
We were very fortunate to have online system a couple of years back. If you remember, we had done online investment proofs, we had done online investment submission of claims. So everything was web-based. So people could access from their home, they can access from their mobiles. We have a mobile app for that. Only concern we had was for the safety of my staff. Because we knew that we have 17 support staff, and to get them from home and dropping them back because there was no public transport. So I would say it was kind enough from my team members, line staff, to voluntarily voluntarily, agree for going and picking up the staffs from home and again dropping them back. And I would like Arun to share something.
I really like to say that during this pandemic, whenever the announcement is coming, we were ready. We were ready for all these challenges. And in fact, all my team members are very into and they want to support and everybody's want to help each other. That was very good part. And during this pandemic, one of the other team members are working on their tasks and other team members are doing the pickup and drop for the HDB staff. That was the key things for us to running the show. At the same time, government has announced some benefit to the employees with the NRW, non-refundable withdrawal for employees. And this was a very good things for employees to having the withdrawals of the PF for using their requirements during this pandemic. And we were ready in the first week of the April itself. And this was really appreciated by EPFO department. The Central PF department had announced us that one of HDFC Bank is one of the one of the organization who had started this very early. And sir has rightly said that 60 crores till now we already disbursed from the PF to our employees.
Are there any anecdotes or stories related to the lockdown that you would like to narrate?
One of our team members was COVID positive, and we all had to be home quarantined because that was a day when we came to process bonus. And then later on, I got to know. One day prior to my birthday, I got to know that the team member is COVID positive. So we all, those who were present on 6th of June, all had to be home quarantined. So, but everything was fine. All were okay. All went well.
But how did you manage with the home quarantine? One would there would obviously be worries, concern. I would even say demons in your mind when such things are happening. How did you manage that?
No, Ravindra, nothing like that, because even after working from office, we used to go back home. As soon as I reach home, my laptop was on and my calls were on. So we had discussions on how to do the testing for the team, about some admission of some of the COVID patients, or getting some cashless approval done. So this was on and off going on for the entire, it's yet continued.
So Nilesh, the moral of the story is that as far as you and your team are concerned, tough times never last, but tough people do.
Thank you, Ravindran. It was the need of the hour, because it was March ending, not the normal month. It was the financial year end. We had to do several year-end closing, the rollover of the systems. So we had to be in office. We knew this lockdown is not going to impact us, and we have to be there and ensure that all our deliverables are given on time.
So my first question is one word which describes HDFC Bank for you.
I would take more words. It's like, achieving your dreams, giving an opportunity to grow, and also explore new ideas.
And a sentence that describes your team the best.
We are always with you, even when you are in office, or even after your retirement, or even when you exit. We'll always be with you.
A hobby that you have been able to continue even during this lockdown?
In fact, I have developed a new hobby. I have made a point to get up from my seat at around 7:15 and look at the sunset every day and capture few pictures of the sky and the sunset view. And that is what a new thing which I have developed. Even for 5-10 minutes, I will spend time over there clicking pictures and looking at the nature.
Who is a better cook in your house, you or your wife?
Somebody has to eat. So I leave it to my daughter and my wife, and I enjoy eating. So you can see from the way I am looking.
Any mishap on your haircut? during this 4-5 months lockdown work from home?
No, you can't. No such mishap.
And finally, Nilesh, learning from this lockdown.
Because learning is a team effort together can make a lot of difference.
Thank you, Nilesh, Arun, Tenny, all of you for joining us for this episode of Untold Stories and sharing how you managed even during the lockdown, working from home from distant locations to ensure that every person gets his salary on time, their family members are helped.